Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has issued a rare personal apology for the killing of a South Korean official. Kim reportedly told his South Korean counterpart, Moon Jae-in, that the disgraceful affair should not have happened. South Korea has said the 47-year-old was found by troops floating in the North's waters. He was then shot dead and his body was set alight. The killing has caused outrage in the South. 2 people have been seriously hurt in a knife attack in Paris near the former offices of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. A suspect has been detained in the nearby Bastille area. According to reports, a second suspect has also been arrested. The attack comes as a high-profile trial is underway in Paris of 14 people accused of helping 2 jihadists carry out the 2015 attack on Charlie Hebdo, in which 12 people were killed. Meanwhile, more than 1,000 people have defied a second night of curfew in the US city of Louisville to protest over the lack of criminal charges in the police killing of Breonna Taylor. 2 officers were shot during clashes in Louisville this week after authorities announced a grand jury had decided not to charge anyone in connection with the death of Taylor, a 26-year-old black woman shot dead in her apartment by police earlier this year. Rio de Janeiro's Carnival parade, due to be held next February, has been postponed indefinitely. The samba schools involved in the parade had previously warned it would be difficult to organise without a coronavirus vaccine. Rio's Carnival attracts millions of visitors every year. Brazil has been one of the worst affected countries by the pandemic, with 4.5 million COVID-19 infections and more than 138,000 deaths so far. Madrid's regional government has expanded the number of areas under lockdown as coronavirus infections have increased in the Spanish capital, which has become the epicenter of a second wave. When the order comes into effect next week, more than 1 million people in the region will only be allowed to enter and exit their home zones on work, educational, legal or medical grounds. Meanwhile, authorities in the Russian capital of Moscow have told the elderly and people with chronic illnesses to remain at home from Monday amid a spike in cases. The city's mayor also recommended that as many people as possible work from home. Mali's new president is sworn into office 5 weeks after the overthrow of Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Former defense minister Barnan Dor was picked by the coup leader Colonel Assimi Goïta to head a transitional government until elections, which are expected in 18 months' time. Colonel Goïta will be his vice president. The appointment of a civilian president was a condition for the West African regional group, ECOWAS, to lift the sanctions it imposed after the coup. Severe flooding in South Sudan has forced more than 600,000 people to flee their homes since July. That's according to the United Nations. It comes after months of torrential rains have caused the banks of the Nile to burst. The impoverished East African nation was already struggling to recover from a 5-year civil war and suffering severe food shortages when flooding hit. An African giant rat has been awarded a prestigious gold medal for its work detecting landmines. Magawa has sniffed out 39 landmines and 28 unexploded munitions in his career. The UK veterinary charity PDSA has presented him with its gold medal for life-saving devotion to duty and the location and clearance of deadly landmines in Cambodia. Of the 30 animal recipients of the award, Magawa is the first rat.
For us, it's very important also that PDSA brings the landmine problem to the attention of the wider public, because landmines still terrorize the lives of so many Cambodians and other people all over the world.
And finally, Buckingham Palace has announced that Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank are expecting a baby early next year. The couple's baby will be the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh's 9th great-grandchild. Eugenie's parents, Prince Andrew and Sarah, Duchess of York, will become grandparents for the first time. And that's for international news around the world in 5. And now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.